All right, guys. So one of the things we're doing is adding our SMS automation into these Google My Business review sequences. It's just another layer of cross-channel automation to facilitate, even more engagement, even more reviews, and getting these reviews, especially getting them with some sort of frequency, is super, super important right now. The latest Google Core update just hit not that long ago, and it seems that reviews for Google My Business are even more important than they were previously, and they were important previously. So now it's just become an even more of an indicator in the algorithm that this business is relevant, it's active, it's getting reviews, and that sort of thing. So if we're going to get reviews, we don't want them to be fake. We want them to be real reviews. So the best way to do that is to leverage this Smart Review Autopilot Google My Business automation sequence, which will help you facilitate that for not just yourself if you wanted to, but for your clients, on behalf of your clients. And it's a great selling point as well. So to do this, I'm inside of one of the GMB Smart Review automations, and I'm essentially going to just build this out and add these SMS messages into this sequence. All right. So before we even do that, let me just save this because I was working on something here. Before we even do that, what we want to do is get a number. All right. So to do that, I'll just go over to our billing. So under your main master account, you'll see you have accounting, billing. So basically, I'll just show you where I went. From here, went to billing, brought me to this page, and then I'm going to look under, so you can order SMS credits to send. Every account, paid account, does come with a certain number of free credits, so you can look that up. But we want to get a dedicated number for on behalf of that business, right? And you want to try to get a local number for that business. So in the case of this client, which is Air Care Restoration, and let me just look them up real quick. I want to confirm their phone number. So I'm just actually going to pull up the quick review link that we normally use anyway. And so yeah, you can see it gives us the quick review link, which is great, but I'm more interested in just the phone number. So they have a 610 phone number. All right, so we're going to look for, first we have to select the country. So that's United States. And then we're going to type in 610. And then we're going to see what kind of phone numbers we have here. So let me look at the name of the city itself. Usually the same, so this is Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But typically the same area code's fine, whatever. I mean, they're not going to know the city anyway, so not that big a deal, but I will select one anyway in Bethlehem. And then I'll purchase this phone number. So there is a monthly cost for the phone number because we have to pay for the phone number ourselves every month, and there's not really much of an upcharge there, just enough for us to cover the cost of buying the number ourselves on your behalf. All right, so let me just refresh this page. I bought the number. Now the next thing to do is to assign that number to that avatar, because you may have multiple avatars as we do here. So I'm going to select that avatar, which is Air Care, and I'm going to select one of those unassigned phone numbers, which was this 610 number. I'll assign it to that avatar, and now Air Care Restoration is assigned. So let me refresh this once more. Air Care Restoration is now assigned this number. So all texts will be coming from this number, which you have your own dedicated number to text from, which is great. All right, in this next segment, we're going to test the phone number we just registered and make sure that we're receiving messages okay. I will be plugging in these SMS messages into this template, but like I said, in the checklist that you get, if you copy my master template, you'll already have these where they need to go, but this is just good to go through anyway. All right, so we've got our first message here, hi, first name. So these are the short codes. It will replace first name with my first name. And page name, we'll use the business page name now. Short codes don't work when you're using a send test because we don't technically know, for example, the viewer's first name. If you do a live example or a live test, which I recommend doing at the end of all this, put yourself in that Google Sheet, first name, last name, phone number, let the whole zap take place where it pushes you through SmartEngage with the tag. You'll receive it as if it's using your first name and page name will be proper and all that. But for now, we're just making sure the phone number works and that the link works. So I'll click on send test SMS using my phone number. Click send, and I've got my phone shared, so I'm going to drag that over. All right, so you can see here, again, we're not using the short codes, but we're making sure the message is working and we received it. That's always a plus. And we can click on this link and confirm that it is in fact opening up that quick Google review link. So this is great. This is exactly what the business owner's customers would be experiencing, which is the easiest way to leave a review. Like this is just so fast. We're right here, and they can type the review and click done. And again, this is such a great, easy way to get reviews from customers on behalf of the business that you're working for. All right, so that worked great, and so that test, I'm happy with that. Let's click cancel out of here and go back. All right, so now we have to start plugging these messages in where they go. So I'm going to put a few in here, and you want to sprinkle them in so that they're not overbearing and you're not spamming people potentially who may have already left you a review. And you know, there's only so many ways where you can really do this because we don't technically know if someone left us a review. You could cross-check it against the review process, but that's not really a scalable solution. We're just trying to keep this simple and confirm a few things such as clicks and opens, and we can draw conclusions based on that. All right, so I'm going to start plugging these in, and that will pretty much wrap up the video here for the GMB Review Autopilot 2.0. Okay, so you may notice that the screen has changed significantly thanks to movie magic. The reason for that is as I was building this sequence out live, I just realized that I wanted to really think through a very smart way to deliver email and SMS in a non-obtrusive way that I just felt would be the best way to do it. So it took me a bit to compile this and build it this specific way. I will go through this with you quickly through each block, but keep in mind you will get this exact template that you could just add to your account. Basically, you just you'll create a clone of it, and you'll be good to go. And you just change a few things. So let's go through this. Now, not a whole lot different in terms of the initial flow compared to the original version of this review autopilot, the one that just had email, but a few things. So let's just go through block by block. All right, so tag is applied, review trigger. We're going to run this on the first Friday, so the next Friday in the sequence, just to kick the ball off on a happy day that people might be more willing to leave a review. We send them the first email. And again, I'm going to go through this rather quickly. If you would like to see more detail about the individual messages and all of that, look at the original GMB Smart Review Autopilot video walkthrough. This is more of the add-on upgrade with SMS. All right, so what we're doing here is we've got a delay 1 day, and then we're checking if the block was open. If the block was open, then we're going to go into a 2-day delay. If the block was not open after about a day, we're going to go ahead and send this SMS, right? And this was the one I tested earlier. I showed you. Okay, so then they're going to get that SMS, and then they get delayed. All right, so then 2 days later, and you can look at each one individually. I do have some different times. Some are on the weekdays. Some, very rarely, I have a couple. I think I have one on the weekend, right? So, and feel free to change it if you like. This was just my thought process behind it. All right, so then we're going to check if the previous block was clicked. So that will check against either, if they came through the SMS, it'll check if that was clicked. If they came through the email side of it, where they actually opened it, it'll check against that being clicked. If they click it basically, if they click at any point in this sequence, and you can see I've got a few yeses coming over to this delay block, basically that is if at any point something gets clicked. So they get put into this holding area because we don't want to bombard them. If they clicked already, that's pretty much the strongest call to action that we could hope for. And potentially they already left a review, so we definitely don't want to keep upsetting them. All right, so we're just mitigating some risk here in terms of bombarding them with the assumption that they potentially left a review, okay? So if they clicked, they're going to the holding area. If not, we'll send them another email, all right? So email 2 is going to go out. Then we put them in another delay for 2 days. Then we check, was the email clicked? If the email was clicked, again, holding area. Was the email opened? So basically, if they're not clicked, it goes down to this one. And then we check, oh, did they at least open the email? And if that's a yes, we put them here. If it's a no, then we send them an SMS, okay? And you could potentially change this around to just send them an SMS regardless of if they opened or not. Your call. I figured they saw the message already. They didn't click it for a reason. We're going to catch them back anyway on the end with our final SMS. So you want to really sparingly use SMS because it's a very, personalized way to message someone. So we definitely don't want to abuse that. All right. Then we're going to wait 3 days, and we're going to check again. So in this case, we're going to check if it was. Actually, this should be click. Let me pause this real quick. I believe this is click. Let me check against my master template. All right, yeah, so this should be clicked. I'm going to update that right now for you. By the time you get your version that you'll clone from the master, this will already be corrected for you. So if previous block is clicked, all right. So again, if this is clicked, then boom. It would also apply to the email in that case. Potentially they came here, they didn't click, they opened, then maybe they clicked somewhere inside of that 3-day window, they clicked it. We'd catch that and we'll put them here in the holding area. All right, if they didn't click in the SMS or the email, they're going to get this other email here. The third email, I believe, where we're at. Let's see. 1, 2, yep, third email. Then we're going to wait 3 days. We're going to check if it was clicked. If it was clicked, again, holding area. And then if not clicked, we're going to send them this final email, the fourth one. And then regardless of what happens here, whether they open it, click it, we don't really care. I'm sending them to the holding area again because this is going to wait 5 days, and then it's going to run on a weekday and send them our final SMS that just kind of encompasses everything. So consider that potentially someone did come over here, leave a review with the SMS, and we put them in the holding area. 5 days later, they're going to get SMS'd again. You don't have to do it this way. This is the best way I could think of to just really maximize exposure without upsetting people. So we open up this last one, and you'll see it on your end. But hi there, Bob. Not sure if you already had a chance to leave us a review, but if you haven't, please click the link below to let us know how we did. It really helps our business grow. There's the link, and then sincerely, Miller. And this would, you substitute your business owner's name there. Right. After that final SMS is sent, I'm going to go ahead and add a tag that they completed the review funnel, so I know they've gone through this sequence one way or another. They either left a review or they didn't. And then they didn't because they either hate us or they just didn't want to leave a review or they didn't see any of these messages. But essentially, we've gone through as deep in this sequence and this funnel as we can without just really upsetting them. So at this point, I would consider them done. And we will then stop. You don't really need to put this here, but I just like to put a final stop block here that they have completed the sequence. All right, so you can see how this drips them out, email, SMS, a combination of the two, trying to mitigate, again, how many messages they do get, especially SMS, depending on how they've interacted and engaged with our messaging. If they're clicking it, we're going to push them through to the end of the sequence for our final SMS reminder. But if they are opening or not opening, then they're going to continue to get a series of emails and text messages encouraging them to leave a review. And again, you can read through these emails. Each one's a little bit different. Each SMS is a little bit different. So it's a total of 4 emails and 3 text messages. So we've got email, SMS, email, SMS, email, another email, and then our final SMS message. Again, feel free to modify this how you see fit. I'm really happy with how this came out, and we're running this for this particular client, a bunch of others actually, but this will be the first one to use the new features here. And again, these reviews, we are already seeing improvements in the map rankings for clients that are using these, especially this one right now, because their reviews were stagnant for months, and now they just start getting these dripped in a couple, one a week over the last few weeks, and it's really moving the needle so far, and I expect it to continue. All right. So again, remember, if you didn't watch the first video of the original GMB Review Smart Autopilot, I would recommend watching that first, and then this should be the second video that you do watch. And all of the links you need to copy this template, get the Google Sheet and all that are in the checklist as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, get out there and implement this GMB Smart Review Autopilot 2.0.